Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Project Talk. I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, Fun King Garage, Fun King Replay. You know, all those YouTube problems that I have. So James isn't here yet. He's having some technical difficulties on his side. You'd think at this point he'd realize that we do this on Sundays and get everything taken care of ahead of time. Anyway, welcome to the new studio. I painstakingly recreated the exact studio that I had in my house here in the new space. Now that's a lie. I'm still I'm still in the house. I haven't moved it yet. But welcome everybody, and I am glad that you are here. I don't know if Felipe is still here, but to me he was the first one because I don't see anything beyond that. So I guess if you were first before that, you were too early. Uncle Ron is here. Alan Osborne. Sergio is here. Nadav is here. Scott McClellan is here. Bob Carnes. Ollie is here. And Clint is here. But you know who's not here? James. James is not here. So he actually messaged me at 4:22 and told me that he had to make some changes real quick. But you know, here we are. So again, you know, streaming like this is a little bit harder because you have nobody to talk to. When I started my YouTube career, I always had one of my kids to bounce things off of. I did do a few streams by myself, but for the most part, it was always talking to somebody else here with me. And but I've learned that talking to yourself is actually quite acceptable, and I've solved a lot of problems by talking to myself. I just covered up by always having a camera in my face. So, but I hope everybody has had a good week. The weekend went really fast for me as always. Sean and I spent a better part of yesterday filming, and so the next video coming out on Fun King Garage, I'm going to say will be this Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in my normal time slot, and it's well, I'll tell you, the next video is, so make sure you tune in for that. Yeah, I'm not telling you what it is. Yes, absolutely, Mark. The weekend is always too fast. I don't understand why, as a society, we haven't figured out how to work 2 days a week and have 5 days off. I mean, yeah, I realize not much would get done, but I'm quite okay with that. So, but every day I push on, and do keep in mind that I work about about, I don't know, 16 hours a day. So it's they're long weekdays, and I mean, I do work on the weekends with the Fun King Garage stuff. That's really 7 days a week. So Sundays, I get up in the morning. We go to early church service. As soon as we're back home, I'm in that garage, and I am there until I have to come in and scrub all the grease and grime off of me to be ready to do this. And then after this, I won't go back to work. Typically after the stream, I just spend time with the family because my wife makes me. But no, good things are coming with Fun King Garage. It's doing well. A huge thank you to everybody that watched my short this week, which I put in there because I didn't have a regular video to release because of Sean moving. We are working through that. We are going to get all of that taken care of. My short, as of right now, has had 961 views since 10 a.m. on Friday, and that just blows my mind. I might just only release shorts from now on. So, but I'm also in works of getting some merchandise, shirts and things, both these and the garage. So that's you with the grime off. Well, for the most part, yeah. It's way worse when I come in from the garage. So Did the prints come out? I know you were running printer last week. If that's to me, no, I wasn't actually running a printer last week. I'm still working on this thing. As soon as James gets here and can entertain, I'm going to go back to working on this thing. I can't find, and I honestly don't work on it through the week because I want to save it for the streams, though I do need it up and running. Hey, Rover. But I can't see why it's failing the calibration. So I'm going to go through that again and kind of check it out. Nothing's touching now and everything's still hooked up, but we'll find out. We'll find out today with that. So, because I need this printer back up and running. Xander. Let's try that again. Zach is Alexander the Great for something for school. And so then he wanted a helmet, but I don't know if I'll have enough time to get it done now because he needs it this week. And that's the printer I wanted to do it on. I mean, I guess I could do it on the AM8, but... Oh, hey, Mitch. Videos and merchandise greater than shorts. Now, right now, it's all about the views. I got to get them views up. Actually, I need my watch time to go up so I can get partnered. But yeah, I definitely, I want merchandise. I have one shirt with the Fun King Garage logo on it. So anytime that you see me wearing that shirt, it's the same shirt. And I'm protective of it. And yet I've still got oil on it already. So, yeah. Glenn, could you post a link to the replay channel? Probably. So, yes. Wait till James gets here and I'll get that because I have that link over on the other computer. But that is going to be when I hit the 100 and can reserve the name. That will be youtube.com/Fun King Replay. But right now, of course, it's 69853CB98Q because I only have one subscriber, which I'm pretty sure is James. So need a Fun King Garage jumpsuit. Yeah, coveralls. That's actually kind of already in the works. I was working with John Mack on getting some embroidery done, and unfortunately, because of the way the logo is, the garage doesn't stitch out right. It's just too fine. Because I wanted to get some hats made, but so I'm either going to have to go with a non-embroidered hat, or I'm going to have to come up with a logo specifically for the hat, which that's fine too. But I have to make that decision. I know a guy that lives really close to you knows how to do shirts. Well, actually, Captain Obvious. I mean, Uncle Ron. I'm going to go through that company that you sent me the link to for the silkscreen pressed things, so that I will actually be making them, but it'll be way easier to make them. I won't hate myself so much when I have to. So Mitch said John Mack is the best. Well, sadly, I have a $12,000 embroidery machine, and I put it in storage. And after about 2 years of being in storage, when I took it out, the humidity had gotten to it and destroyed something on the main board. So if I invest about $1,000 into it, I can get it fixed, and then I could do my own embroidery. But that's still not going to help with the logo because, I mean, he made very valid attempts at stitching it out. Even tried stitching it onto a hat for me, and it looks bad just because the font is so small. It's so fine. So, so what else is happening? Well, we need to revive that embroidery machine. Absolutely. As much as I paid for it, I should be using it. So it's a good one. It's a really nice one. It's, like professional grade. Could have bought a car for what I paid for that thing when I bought it, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go back down that road of doing my own apparel. My goal is at some point when it's big enough, I'm going to stock the apparel here, but I don't want to make it. I'll just order it. So Mark said, I have a brother's embroidery machine. Yeah, this one's an Amaya. It's a Melco Amaya machine. It's 16 needle. So it's quite the machine. And around here somewhere I have Fun King shirts that I embroidered, and some hats. In fact, I think I have a hat with my car club logo on it upside down because when I loaded it up, I had the image the wrong way, but whatever. Sometimes you have to learn. We can't all be good at everything. So, which, that's something I'd like to touch on too. Without giving away what I'm working on out there, because in YouTube land, it hasn't happened yet. But I realized, because what I was doing was something that I had had very little experience with, and not in a long time. And so I was a little intimidated to jump into this project. It was costly, but if I would have paid somebody else to do it, it would have cost me about $1,200 in labor. And still the parts that I had to buy. Here comes James now. His camera's still gray though. So after a little bit of research and stuff, and of course today's times are different. You can go on YouTube and learn things before you do things. Way back in the day, I didn't have that option, but I decided to go ahead and take the plunge and do it anyway. And the project that I did, the piece that I did, turned out fantastically. It was a lot of work. It took me a whole week to get it done. Had to wait on parts in the middle of the week, that kind of stuff. The stuff that I was working with was cumbersome and heavy, but I got it done. And then afterwards, it was like, I would have like felt terrible had I paid $1,200 to have that done, and then found out that that's really all that I had to do. So everybody knows their limits, but push that limit once in a while. Like step just to the outside once in a while and try something maybe that you hadn't before. So, hi, Brian. Mitch 3D said the patches I made for Sean took forever on a Viking that sounded like a squealing belt. It was awful. Well, I bet Thomas did not like you making patches on him. Or was it a different Viking? Oh. No, I was in the process, like I was cranking out shirts, and we went to a shirt show, and they had this embroidery machine, and Amaya stands for as many as you add. They connect via network cables, and you can just daisy chain all of them, and then you can say you have 10, you can have all 10 of them doing exactly the same thing, or you can have 5 doing one thing and the other 5 each doing their own individual things. So like it had great expansion, and we got the machine. I didn't really have time to learn it, but so my wife was going to take it on, but it was really overwhelming for her. And then we ended up moving here and put it into storage, and then it just didn't work when I took it out of storage. So I did work with support at the time, and we determined that it is the main board that's bad. And then they wanted like $1,000 for a new one, and I just couldn't do it. And so now it just sits. There's James. Finally got a picture. Do we have audio?
Can you hear me?
Oh, you're really quiet.
I'm really quiet.
You sound like you're talking into a tin can.
Okay, 2 seconds.
Like your microphone's upstairs and you're not. Oh, something clicked.
How about now?
Oh, yeah, look at there. Wrong mic?
Yeah, right now I don't have a proper mic connected, so I went through the mic built into the camera, but I've got 2 cameras that are the same name almost. So.
Well, I mean, I can hear you now, so.
Lucky you.
I can also hear me. Check,
Badly?
check. Audio check. No, I guess it's okay.
I'm sure there'll be a little bit of it because I've got speakers. I don't have a headset right now.
Well, I mean, I listen through speakers too. StreamYard actually does a pretty good job of noise cancellation, but
I have noticed that. So basically, 2 weeks ago, Kay and I were in the basement. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Something looks like it's screwed up.
2 more seconds. Gosh, we've already given you what? 16 minutes. Gosh.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, Kay and I were in the basement, and we were tearing stuff apart because I'm redoing the electrical around my filming area. Because right now it's basically like one power bar, and I keep unplugging stuff from the power bar to make space for other stuff. And so I got a power bar that's 5 foot long, and it's got, I think, 12 outlets on it, but they're spaced out. And I want to do permanent wiring for like computer towers and stuff like that I can just swap out. Like, you know, I mean, like I just pull it up from behind the curtain, plug it into whatever I'm working on.
Gotcha.
Yep. Doing all the swapping. So we ripped everything apart, and I just started a new dose of a medication, and I wasn't feeling well. So we said, oh, we'll come back down and finish it. And then last week we did Minecraft, and then I came down now, and I'm like, oh. And the thing is, so I've got a fake wall set up across the, well, I can show you guys. I got a fake wall, right, that I use for my filming. So the laundry room is on the other side of here. So when you walk downstairs and you turn into this fake hallway that's in behind here, you can't see the front. So I've been back and forth down the stairs picking up laundry and stuff over the past couple of weeks, and completely oblivious to the fact that that's where we left things. With, yeah, we'll come back to it.
So what constitutes a fake wall versus a real wall?
Well, that's just a vinyl poster.
But I mean, it's still technically a wall, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, if you can call the dividers in a cubicle walls, right? Then it's not load bearing. I can guarantee that.
Well, now that you're here, I can start working on my Prusa because I don't have to entertain so much.
I want to do a little, so I wanted to get things set up as quickly as possible so I could start talking, and I'll still be involved in the conversation and whatnot, obviously, and I'll keep an eye on chat. I do want to do a little rewiring because basically I was like, get in here as quickly as possible because poor Glenn's going to die without me. And so I just ran a USB cable from my computer that's over here with the camera and just plunked it on the desk. But I am going to wire everything properly. So I'll probably disconnect this camera for like 30 seconds at some point, but I'll get talking to people first. Yeah. They can bloop it in the comments below.
We just can't have anything nice.
I'm trying to make it so that all of this will be much more straightforward going forward, because other than the area that I film on, specifically this table, everything is a mess of, well, I can again show the carnage because of connecting and disconnecting stuff all the time.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Now, I want to point out beforehand that none of the wires that you just saw, well, I can't say none of the wires, all the wires that are messy that you just saw are like USB cables and stuff like that. None of it's like high current.
It's all line voltage. It's all live.
Okay, I left the live wires unshielded to get the most power out of them.
Right, yeah, stripped out and touching, like the metal framing of the house.
Well, what I found works best is if I unstrip all the live wires and I strand them together so you've got really thick gauge wire. You never have to worry about overloading it. But yes, it's been a challenge to keep up with everything.
Yeah, I started the stream telling everybody that this was the new studio and that I painstakingly recreated it to look just like my old studio, but in the new location.
Well, because people don't like change.
Oh, I think the new setup is going to be, it's going to be really good. I mean, I guess I can let a few teasers out, but the goal is I'm still going to have this same table behind me. I'll be a little bit further away from it. It'll have a little bit more room, which will be great. But the FK1 is going to actually sit directly behind me. And then if the honking thing doesn't take up the whole entire table, the Prusa will be at one side and the AM8 will be at the other. And that will be my backdrop. So
I just realized that in the corner over here, I was putting away floppy disks, so I never closed the tray. So there's 2 trays just hanging out there.
oh yeah.
I have way more storage for floppies than I need, but I figured better to plan for the future.
Well, I think any storage for floppies is more than you really need.
Well, not when you work with the stuff that I work with. I got a new Mac this week.
You got a new what?
A new Mac. I mean, and
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It took me forever to get it to install an operating system, so that was fun. But now it's running the second highest operating system that it can officially run. So you're gonna try and get that thing to actually do a print today?
Well, there's no reason that it's failing. Well, I'm sure there is a reason. I just don't know what it is, but that it's failing the calibration. It's not rubbing on anything anymore. We got all that fixed from the first time.
It doesn't tell you why it failed?
Nope, it just says up here is we're done with you.
Because I thought it would give an error message like XYZ, or sorry, the XY skew is too far out, or.
Oh no, it's not even getting to that point. Like it's failing picking up the last point in the bed.
What did you have to pull apart the last time you did it? I don't remember. Was it just the hot end?
Yeah, I didn't even pull the hot end apart. I just had a big blob on it.
Very odd.
Yeah.
Had an exciting week this week, I guess. So I'm sure at some point I showed some of the people, if not all the people in chat. I have an old Dell Fire server that was government, not government, but sorry, private industry owned, and they retired it. And it had it had 29 2-terabyte drives, and it's one of the ones where it's like you have two.
It had 29.
Yeah, 2-terabyte drives. So it's the type of stuff where you've got the main server, and then you've got a backbone cable that goes to a hard drive caddy, and then so there's 2 of these hard drive caddies. Each one holds 15 drives, and one of them was empty. So I did a health test on it, and all the drives that were in it were good. So then I set it up in dual slice RAID 5, so it's like a RAID 5 and a RAID 5, and then they're rated together, but each one then has like 3 drives that are hot standby. In the event that one fails, it can immediately pass the data, like rebuild that failed drive on one of the spare drives. So pretty well spaced out for redundancy, especially considering 2-terabyte drives, and that was fairly high end when they were bought. So they've got years of service on them, so I'm not expecting them to last very long. So I definitely set it up with the idea that one or more of these drives is going to fail probably sooner rather than later, but 2-terabyte drives are pretty cheap. So if I want to run this for a while, it's not going to cost me a lot. And they were just, so the thing will take SAS or SATA drives. So lots of flexibility. Carl asked how loud it is. It is so loud that I was unable to do audio filming in my basement, even though it was in a closed room in the laundry room. It was loud enough that with the laundry room door open and the upstairs, like the basement stairs open, you could hear it from the living room.
Yeah, I've got that one new Dell server that when you fire it up, it sounds like a fighter jet taking off.
Well, and the funny thing, oh yeah, so that's how this one starts, because it does the. You think like I wouldn't want to get my finger stuck in one of those fans because I wouldn't have it anymore.
Well, and it's weird because the pitch that it puts out, like it's like a rage pitch.
Yeah.
After I would listen to that thing run for like 10 minutes, I was annoyed. Like,
yep.
Like not annoyed at the fan, but just like angry.
It's making you do it. It's like,
yeah, it's the brown noise.
So, and here's the other interesting. So when I was handed it off, I was told, each component has a secondary power supply. So three machines have 6 power supplies total, but you only need to run it with 1 each if you don't have enough space on your power bar or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
So
redundant.
So I plugged it in with just the just the 3. And you know that rage pitch that you're talking about?
The
If
what?
you just the rage pitch of the fans, the fan
Right.
spin, if you run with just one power supply per piece, it leaves them like that constantly. So then I start reading the manuals, and it's like, oh yeah, it'll run like that. It's not designed to run like that for very long. It's basically supposed to run that long so that long enough to notify you that there's been an issue and for you to do a controlled shutdown. Um, so I thought, oh, there's no way I'm even going to be able to use this thing because it's so freaking loud that even with all the doors closed, you could hear it in our bedroom 2 floors up. So then I plug in the other power supplies and it calms down, which I think is what made me think that it was at least reasonable for a while. Anyways, all this to say, it wasn't the hard drives that failed, and stupid me for not thinking this would be an issue. It was the server part that started experiencing issues. And so I'm like, well, all that data redundancy is great, but I don't have a server to take over for the hosting part of it. And it's running that proprietary Dell, well, I'm assuming proprietary. I haven't looked into it. Somebody in chat may correct me. Proprietary Dell backbone to connect to it. So I think it's some RAM failure. I haven't isolated it down, but so I scrambled and I had a first or second gen Ryzen system that I tossed a 16 terabyte hard drive into, because even though I had 42 terabytes of available space in that machine, I was only using 6. So I bought a 16 terabyte drive and then synced everything across to it to get my data out of it before something goes wrong. And I think subsequently what I've decided is I'm going to buy a second 16 terabyte drive and do RAID 1 or like just mirror it.
Right.
And that's going to be my backup solution so that I can actually work down here.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's it. I mean, that I ended up doing a RAID stack in mine because of, I mean, backup, like tape drives even, you can still get tape drives, but they're ridiculously expensive now.
Yep.
And offsite storage is so expensive. And I do have the capability of putting, like, I could put a remote drive at my office, and technically I could put the office's remote drive here and, back up that way. But to have to buy 2 drives for everything, and I have so much. I just bought a 4 terabyte drive for backing up Fun King Garage's videos. We're already over half consumed. So it's like, it was like throwing a stick into the Grand Canyon.
Yep. I
This
happened across
this is not healthy. There's something wrong.
Why would it do?
It's not even, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it did find the first spot. It just took a long time for it to calibrate that first spot.
I happened across a 16 terabyte drive that's a Seagate enterprise level drive on Amazon that was on sale. And then on top of it all, I'd gotten an Amazon gift card that I kept forgetting that I had at Christmas. So I said, okay, I'm going to spend the money on this, and I'm going to use the Amazon gift card to offset some of it because it was still, I think, $400 or Canadian.
Yeah.
So a little, or probably close to $3 US.
Yeah, I ended up, let's see, how do I want to say this? If somebody was wanting to get large hard drives cheaper, you can buy book drives and take the hard drives out of them.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
never do such a thing, but
Shucking is what you're talking about.
there you go.
Yeah.
But I bought a bunch of 8s, and when I say 8 bunch, I bought 4 of them. So I have two 8 terabyte RAIDs, so that I have some redundancy. Now, of course, that doesn't cover you for corrupt files, because if you corrupt one, you're going to corrupt the other one too. But if one drive fails, I can hot swap it out and put another one in it.
That's the way, you like it.
But, now with Sean not being locally, with him being remote, I was trying to come up with a way to make it easier to access the data. And I could have absolutely just opened up my Samba server and let him in the same way, but I don't want my Samba server open to the mean world. So that's why I went with a Western Digital MyCloud drive. And unfortunately, I went with a Western Digital MyCloud home drive, which is not the same as just a regular MyCloud drive. The interface is a little bit chunkier, but it'll work. It'll still allow him to get the video files that I shoot and be able to put back what he edits. So
I've been playing with Zero Tier. I don't know if you're familiar with Zero Tier. It's like a tunneling home VPN style solution where you can basically you can create a hosted VPN, and then you have to so people will install the software either on like a Linux box or there's a Windows client and stuff too. And when you install it, it gives you a computer generated code, and each one's unique for the entire Zero Tier service. So then you have to authorize them to be able to connect to your network. And I think it holds MAC address and all the other stuff, and then you can assign them an IP and stuff. So it creates an encrypted tunnel between them. But the only problem is that I found all traffic through it is significantly slower than my internet connection.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So it's not a big deal if I need to like back up stuff from my parents' computer before getting them to like reload something or whatever. But
Carl said, be careful of those book drives. You need CMR drives for speed access. When I shucked those things open, they were just regular Western Digital Blues. The only thing that's weird about them is, no, they were blacks. I'm sorry, not blues. They're Western Digital Blacks. The only thing that's weird about them is you do have to block one of the pins on the connector to get the BIOS to see it. There's a data pin in there that you put a little piece of Gorilla Tape over it when you plug it in, and then it'll work in the computer. But otherwise, the computer won't see it in BIOS.
Oh, they're getting smart to the shucking process, are they?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it worked. I mean, I'm running, I think, a total of 6 of those. I don't know.
I feel like it would be. Sorry, go ahead.
I think everybody in here has seen my setup. It's probably not going to be focused because I don't have autofocus on right now, but that's my network over yonder.
It's a nice looking rack. It's the wrong color though.
It's the wrong color?
Yeah. I thought you had a brand.
I do. That I can't remember why I chose to go red on that. I mean, that was long before Fun King existed, but there was a reason I chose red. That rack was actually from Lucent Technologies, which became AT&T. AT&T bought Lucent, but it was like baby blue was the original color. Then what's even worse is, like, a friend of mine worked for Bell South at the time, and he was the one that got me that rack. In fact, I had to pick, like, I went in to the backyard and he's like, pick one. And there was like hundreds of them. So, but I got it home and I had it in storage for a couple of years. And then when we finally moved here, I went to put it in. I bolted it down to the floor, went to put the first server case in it. It was a 21-inch telecom rack, not a 19-inch standard rack. So I actually cut that. I cut a section out of the bottom, a section out of the top, and a section out of the cover, welded it back together, smoothed it down, body filled it, and then repainted the whole thing so that it's a 19-inch standard rack now. But it's steel. It's not like an aluminum relay rack. It's a nice heavy duty steel rack.
It's not going anywhere, is what you're telling me.
No, it is most definitely not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm afraid that it might be time for a full rebuild on this thing. Everything moans and groans, and maybe some new
bearings anyway.
What's that?
Time for new bearings at least.
Yeah, well, if nothing else, a good grease packing. Mark said, I got a rack I need to sell. Yeah, I would have liked to have had an actual server cabinet, which I have one that I was going to renovate In fact, I had made an appointment to take it to the powder coater, and then stuff came up, and I opted to not spend the money to have it powder coated. But I actually traced it back. It is from a 1960s server. And I reached out to the company that made it originally to see if they had, any information about it, and to see if it was even remotely possible to get replacement stickers for it. But of course, no, like times were different back then. But and then I do have a half server rack, but that's my Silicon Graphics server, and it weighs 600 pounds, so it's not coming up here.
I'm mesmerized watching your printer trying to find that last point.
Yeah, this is the one where it usually fails. So Brian asked, how do I feel about the Prusa not being 32-bit? I have no qualms with that at all. This printer does everything that I need it to do.
Well, not right now.
Huh?
Not right now, it doesn't.
No, not right this moment, but that's because of neglect and abuse. But no, I have no issues with this thing as far as what it's done for me over the years. I mean, if it turns out that it's dead right now and I had to scrap it, it doesn't owe me anything.
It hasn't started doing its circular probe for that one, eh? It's just going back and forth?
Yeah, just back and forth right now.
Is it possible that one of the
and there's the failure. Oh, maybe not. Nope. Xyz calibration failed. Please consult the manual.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. So does it use the screws for where the bed attaches to the frame as the probing points? Is that how it goes?
No, there's little circles on the bed.
Okay, I'm trying to remember what the underneath looks like then. Are there magnets underneath the circles?
That's what I was checking earlier. It probes this circle right here. There's right, 4 of those.
What's underneath the circle on the other side, like on the other side of the bed?
I don't know. I was trying to stick something to it to see if that's what it was. The magnets are like right here.
Brian's saying maybe it's the sensor or the pins, but it finds the other 8 spots and fails on the last one.
Well, it's just doing the 4. It's just doing the 4 corners. Yeah, the magnets are inboard more. Well, at least this side is. I don't know where the magnet is on this side. Oh, out here. It's in a couple different spots, but it's not where those circles are. I know that the Pinda was up too high, and I lowered it down 2 weeks ago when I was playing with this thing, so maybe I'll lower it down a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's where I'd go next.
So you want to like cram the nozzle down into the bed, right? Get that nozzle just down in there and then set the Pinda probe.
Yep. I also like how the camera is perfectly focused on the band you have on your watch.
Oh, letting everybody know that I got the diabetes.
The diabetes.
That's my medical alert bracelet. I don't really like wearing a watch, but I definitely didn't want to wear a watch and a medical alert bracelet and my oh, now I can't. Uncle Ron will know what it's called. What's that button you push when you fall down, Uncle Ron?
Oh, is that the commercial? Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
That's the one.
We had one of those for my grandmother when she got to a certain age. They had to test it once a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So every day they push the
button down the stairs.
Yep. Go take a tumble, Grandma. We got to test it. They said so. I don't know. I would think there'd be a better way to do this as well, but here we are. Local maker, Minnesota says Metalert.
That's Michigan.
Oh well, I don't know these things. I'm in Canada. We We only have a handful of provinces to keep track of here.
I was just picking on Uncle Ron for being old.
Well, better picking on Uncle Ron than picking your nose like usual.
Right. I get all that done before I fire up the stream.
I apologize. That joke's not funny.
I need a hammer. I got to hit this thing with a hammer. That'll fix it.
Armed and hammered.
So Xander's super excited about me moving out of up here.
Why? So he can have his own dedicated streaming space?
No, so that he can be loud on Sunday afternoons.
Oh. Well, that's one reason not to do it, I guess.
I told him, I said,
if it makes Xander happy, you shouldn't be doing it.
Well, when I said to him, I said, when I move out of here, we can put your desk up against this wall back here, and you can have all this space for your VR. And he's like, no, I like where I am.
You just can't help a kid like that out, eh?
Oh, it will be much nicer being closer to my tools though when I work on stuff. Mike said I have a brass hammer you can use.
Actually, no, he missed the comma. He's saying he's got a bras hammer, like a brassiere hammer.
Oh, bras hammer. Oh, bras hammer.
Yeah.
For smacking them. Oh, never mind.
That's not where I was going to go with that. I was saying it's a more refined tool that's a little more delicate to work with. That's how I describe my friend Glenn, too. He's a more refined tool for me to work with.
I am a very refined tool.
Brian asked where you're moving. He has a, what do you call them, an in-law suite on the property?
Well, yeah, you can definitely call it that.
And he evicted his latest tenant, and so now he's moving in there.
Yeah, that guy. I'm like, get out, would you?
He said to him, I'm gonna be rich and famous, and I don't need you anymore. So get out. I need your space.
I'm gonna be rich and famous because you're doing half the work. So get out, would you?
I do love old computer stuff, so definitely let's talk on the Twitters. Everything's been Macs lately. My one of my friends is like, why the obsession with Macintoshes lately? I'm like, it's not an obsession with it. It's just the only stuff that's been coming my way.
It's available, yeah.
Yeah. I might have overpaid for this one a little bit. I don't know. So he's like, oh, I would have, somebody made like, oh, I have one of those. I would have given it to you for free. I'm like, well, you didn't say anything beforehand.
Well, they still can,
My goal was to get one of every not the new iMacs, but like one of every body style of iMac. So I've got the G3, I've got the G4. I don't have a G5 one, and then I've got one of the early Intel ones now, which is good enough for me. So he's got another one. I don't want it. I don't have enough space for it, and I don't have a lot of video ideas for it other than I'm gonna do a history of the iMac video at some point. Hey, Glenn.
Sir.
Good luck.
Let's hope for the best.
May the force be with you sometimes. Yeah, so I've got this powered USB 2.0 hub that I'm going to install over here so that I can control my streaming machine and cameras and stuff without having to run cables all across the...
I might have turned that too much.
Might have what too much? Oh, did it ram up into the top?
I might have turned it a little too many times.
Glenn Hull says, greetings from Alabama. Brian says,
Alabama.
Sweet home, Alabama. And there, you just got copyright striked. You can't even say the name of the song anymore.
That's right. You're not even allowed to think it. Don't YouTube. Don't stream on YouTube if you have a song stuck in your head, even if you don't actually vocalize it out loud.
Yep.
So let's talk about that, because I was hit with that copyright strike a week ago Friday.
You were hit by a copyright strike?
I was hit by. You didn't know that?
No.
Honestly, you didn't know that, or are you being funny?
I didn't know that.
Okay, so we uploaded the Explorer video, and I immediately got hit with a copyright. Not a strike.
A copyright
copyright
claim, so they
claim.
get the money from it, but they're not blocking you from having the video.
Right, a copyright claim, and so like I didn't really understand. It was the first time I really, okay, not the first time I had one, because I had one on one of Xander's Thing Thursdays, but it was legit. I didn't read the licensing correctly for the music, so okay, fine.
You took your lumps.
What's that?
You took your lumps from it. It was your mistake.
Yeah, exactly. So they can have the 6 cents a year that it generates. But all of a sudden this thing pops up and all of my music comes from Audio Hero, which is a service that I get through being a TubeBuddy Pro member. So, and it's supposed to be all cleared for YouTube. So I filled out the not the appeal, whatever the first one.
The dispute.
This dispute, right? And said, up yours, it's not your music. This is where I got it from. And so then I got a reply.
That immediately, I'm assuming.
What's that?
Did they reject that immediately?
Well, they rejected it immediately, stating, like, I put the whole entire Audio Hero licensing in there and stuff, and they disputed it back, and they said the claimant does not accept this because they said it's their song. And I'm like, I don't care what the claimant says. Like, isn't that what YouTube is supposed to do? Like mediate in between them. So then when you go to do the appeal, they use all these scary tactics. Like, if you do this and they win, we're going to delete your video and you could lose your YouTube channel. And my thought was, well, okay, so when I win, I want these a-holes to pay me for my time that I used to dispute all of this.
Yes.
So I reached out to Audio Hero, and Audio Hero like jumped into action. They came to action as a hero, and and they contacted the claimant as well as YouTube, and then I filed the appeal, and then it was released within like an hour. Like, I literally played the video and the song from Audio Hero at the same time, and I'm like, yep, it's absolutely that song. And
so it was at least legitimately, like they're saying, oh wait, so you played your video and the song that you thought you used to confirm that you used the right song and didn't, like, somehow.
Right, because I didn't do the editing, Sean did, so I wanted to be sure that it was the right song.
Yeah.
And so that's, so yes, I was like 100% sure, absolutely, this song came from Audio Hero. Everything is okay. It was BMI Music that was coming to get me. And the song.
BMI?
Huh?
You say BMI?
BMI?
Yeah, they've claimed a couple on some of my videos. I had one that had a MIDI that I'd written like years ago, and I turned it into background audio for it, and they claimed it. And like I went and listened to the song that because I don't know if they still do it, but back then they said like, this is the infringing part, and here they named the song or whatever that it was ripping off. And I'm like, there's absolutely nothing unless it's just like literally triggering on like one note.
Yep, you're not allowed to use the note that they've already used. You're never
C sharp. Can't use C sharp. That's copyrighted by Microsoft.
I was about to make approximately the same joke, but anyway. So yeah, like the song that they said that I was using, I couldn't even find a copy of it anywhere to hear it. to know if it was even close. I could find the artist, but not that particular song. And so when I
They were
wrote
still writing it at the time.
what's that?
It's because they were still writing it at the time.
Yeah. Well, when I wrote the appeal, I put in there, I said, I have never used, nor will I ever use music by that particular artist. You know, like, so, but anyway, I don't know where that whole story was going. That went down a big rabbit hole.
Get back to your probing.
Yeah, I think we were still just talking about the fact that just the whole, you know, the you know, thinking about music, and it's a terrible process that they use. And then, you know, like, I was never big on Instagram. Not that I'm big on Instagram, but I was never like a big user of Instagram. And so I've started to use it for FKG because there's a lot of car people on Instagram. And then we have some group complain, Sean. Oh, I grilled him as soon as it happened. I'm like, are you sure that you did not use music from outside? But it's just funny to me that these videos on Instagram use whatever music they want, and that's fine. But I mean, if you exhale and you wheeze a tone that sounds like a song, YouTube, like, nope, demonetized.
You breathe out and you get flagged for every breath you take by the police.
Oh, don't give them any ideas.
There was an implication. I'm not getting much done on my rewiring, but that's okay. I'm enjoying watching you work on your printer. Oh, that's so right. Kay wanted to get away for a weekend, and we started looking at Airbnbs, and really she just wanted to go someplace that had a hot tub. You want to be able to relax.
Is she taking you with? She taking you with her?
Well, yes.
Oh, okay.
So we start looking at places. So by the time all is said and done, the price of the place we were looking at, I started saying, well, hold on. We used to have an inflatable hot tub that we used for 2 years and then it died. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the inflatable hot tub that we had for 2 years cost less than going away for a weekend. And sure enough, you know, it was going to cost us $600 and some bucks to go away. And I found an inflatable hot tub for $600. So we bought the inflatable hot tub and set it up on, it was supposed to be here Thursday. It didn't show up till Friday night. So I'm out there in the rain on Friday night trying to get set up so we can use it for the weekend. And since it's inflatable, it's only 110 volts. So, you know, it's not a high powered heater on it.
Right.
We're running it, and I'm realizing, middle of yesterday, I realized I had this portable, it's a heater for like camping, but it still runs on 110 volts. But the idea is like you can plug into 110 volts and toss into a bucket of water, and it'll bring the water, you know, up to a boil if you want it to, for showers and cleaning and stuff like that. Okay. So it's basically a kettle without the body, is literally what it is. It's got an 1800 watt heating coil in it.
Okay.
So when I realized that the hot tub, with it being, you know, pretty close to freezing here, was going to take longer than we had for the weekend to be able to actually start using it, I ran an extension cord out from the house and tossed that in with it as well, and all of a sudden it was going up 3 degrees an hour. Because the built-in heater is only 1200 watts, yeah. And then the second one I put in is 1800, so it was over double the heating capacity going into it. So we got into it for the first time this morning, and you know, we're looking forward to using it for the next 2 months until it gets too hot to use it outside.
Does that happen up there?
Yeah, we'll usually get some time in July and August where it's, you know, in the 30s. I don't know what that converts to. Somebody bleep bloop it into the maths there. I guess I could bleep bloop it into the maths.
30s would be. I mean, what, the 70s? I think that's in the 70s.
30 is 86.
Oh, 86.
And we'll sometimes see 35 to 37. So 37 would be pushing us up to 98.6.
Oh, perfect internal temperature.
There you go.
But yeah, no, the weather here got hot. Like I was in the garage sweating my butt off, and then I bought a new exhaust fan for the garage, and like a nice one. It'll turn the air over in that thing like 6 times a minute, and then all of a sudden it got cool out. And I'm like, great, now I don't have to install it. You just have to own it, and it stays cool outside. Old Curmudgeon asked, does my Twitter accept DMs? Absolutely.
The Twitter does. He doesn't.
Right. I just don't read them. No, that's not true. I don't ever want to get to the point where I'm not accessible. So absolutely, either my Twitters accept DMs, or you can email me if you want to email me. That's Glenn with 2 N's at funking3d.com or Glenn with 2 N's at funkinggarage.com. Local maker Michigan said Canadian summer is 2 weeks. Well, that's kind of how our winter is here. It's 2 days. I didn't realize that wasn't doing anything. See, I get sidetracked too easy. Come on, get there. Roundy round she goes.
Okay, so it's obviously finding it because it switches to the round probing instead of just the back and forth.
Yeah, and I can see the pin to probe lighting up, like it's flashing.
Does it flash when it gets to that back corner?
I don't know. I'll have to stick my head in there and see. That's a joke because it's in the same spot. It's just the bed's further forward.
Is the bed moving right now, or is it just going back and forth right now?
It's not like the bed's not moving. It's like dunk, and then it scans, and then it dunk, and it scans and dunk. Like the bed's just coming forward. Like it's scanning, and then the bed shifts forward, and it scans again, and it's hopping up and down. It's looking for all the points. And Uncle Ron finally slides in with life alert. That's absolutely the I've fallen and can't get up. How long is the delay on YouTube?
Well, he kept having to rewind and turn the volume up.
Oh, and a good time was had by all. Oh. Yeah. Oh, let me see how my shorts doing. How my shorts are doing. $9.99. Anybody that hasn't watched it, go watch it. It's only a minute. It's right out of.
Oh, you're talking about your short?
What's that?
You're talking about your short?
My short. Yeah, I might have messed that link up. No, it's all right.
I watched it. I was impressed.
It actually turned out really good. Now I didn't film that to be a short. I just filmed it to film it. But I ended up. What's that?
How many views?
How many views?
How many views has it gotten?
999.
Did you just say that?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I missed it. I heard the 999. I just didn't hear the what data you were specifying.
It's at 999. Yeah, so no, I filmed it to be a video, and then started kicking around the idea of making it a short. And then you told me last week, I think it was you that told me that it had to be vertical.
Yep.
But it actually worked out really well because I parked the camera in one spot and just filmed it so that I could I could turn it into a time lapse. And then, that's funny. If you look at the video where I'm sitting and then the printer is moving, it looks like I guess it's my chair. Looks like I'm doing a little dance. Anyway, sorry, squirrel. But yeah, by turning it vertical like that, by clipping it vertical, it worked out perfectly. So. Oh, look at that. I know you guys can't see it. Old Curmudgeon sent me pictures of his dad's Cummins project, Fummins project. I do have on slate at least one more Fummins project in the future, and I'm not going to give it away yet, but it's going to be epic.
I look forward to seeing it probably.
Yeah, mine's been a little bit of work. Bob's there, 100 or 1,000 views. Oh, it hasn't updated yet. Still showing me $9.99. Stupid lying YouTube.
Did you get any subscribers from it?
I don't know if I necessarily picked up any subscribers from it. I've picked up a few over the last couple of days. I don't know if it was.
You can see that, eh? You can see if somebody subscribed based on a video.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, if you go into it and you look at the analytics. Well, I'm trying to remember if you can do it on Shorts. Give me 2 seconds.
It said 8.6 hours of watch time.
I don't believe the watch time on that counts towards your watch time for the monetization, though.
Oh, really?
Because it's one of those things where it just like auto scrolls through or whatever.
%100 likes.
I did a short on the NES Micro that I built, and it's got
no subscribers.
Okay.
For that.
I did a short on the NES Micro, like the mini one, and it's at 2.7K views and 154 thumbs up. The last comment was, the NES Micro does be almost unusable and disgusting.
So there's a YouTube channel that I watch that's called Fab Rats. They're based out of Utah, and Paul is the one, like, he just does a bunch of, they like mainly do like rock crawling and off-roading and stuff in the desert because they're in Utah. But I thoroughly enjoy his channel, and it's based, like, his family is very involved in stuff. Like, his kids love to go in the garage and help him work on stuff. His kids like to help him work on stuff. But they do a not a series, but they do like these little cuts where they call it Cartancuous comments, and they read all the mean tweets and stuff that people say about him, and it is absolutely hysterical. At one point, somebody commented to Paul himself and said, like, oh, you're not any good at this. Like, I hope this isn't your day job. And like, they're like, you never use a torque wrench. And like, he's just going on like this. And Paul looks up at the camera and he goes, you guys think you're going to hurt my feelings, but I used to hold the flashlight for my dad. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy that channel too. You guys should check that out. 1,000 views in 2 days. That's pretty amazing. So,
I'm gonna go give you a thumbs down there to break that 100% thumbs up thing.
I won't see it. YouTube won't show it to me.
But when you go into engagement, it'll tell you.
They're afraid it'll hurt my feelings. I don't think there's anything on this planet that can hurt my feelings. Like, I always tell people, you can say anything about me you want, I don't care. But you go after my family, then it's game on. Unless it's Xander. You can talk bad about Xander.
Yeah, Xander's lame.
He's over there all like in his VR world. All right, spot number 4.
Oh, it's doing circles now.
I think it starts with circles.
Oh, well, I don't know why I got excited then.
Mitch said we know who's the favorite son. I don't have a favorite son. When the kids ask me who my favorite is, it's always the cat.
I don't have a favorite son. They both suck. It's like
Well,
that Simpsons clip. We're arguing over who loves you more. You love him more. No, you love him more.
I have one kid that refuses to come help me in the garage, and I have another kid who wants to help me work in the garage. He just can't remember to do it. Yeah, there's a event next weekend. I don't know if I want to say what event it is. Oh, it's okay. Cletus McFarlane. They have the Freedom Factory 500 is Friday night, and then Cletus and Car's car show is Saturday, and Derek from Vice Grip Garage is going to be there. And I was thinking about going, but I don't know. I don't know.
You can go ask him for a hug.
I think I want to, until I walk into, a scene that big, I think I want to be around a little longer.
Like, hey guys, I put out 3 videos, so.
Yeah, I want to get the name out just a little more.
Like, comment, subscribe.
But Sean was trying to convince me to go, that we should go and just film some of the car show for content.
You know what? I'm actually gonna side with Sean on that one.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems like a good idea, but Nadav is asking if I am going to IRF. At this point, I don't know. I'm trying to get to both Murph and IRF. There was IRF conflicts with another event that I've kind of already promised that I would be at. But now I'm being told that may not happen. So I may be able to get out of that event and make it to IRF. As of right now, with Murph being in the middle of the summer, it may not be so bad, but it's going to probably just be me. And I'm actually looking at flying into Chicago and renting a car, and very possibly flying into Chicago and meeting up with Uncle Ron and renting a car. So, Brian, do it, Glenn. Who cares what people say or think? No, that's not the point. That's not the point. So there's a certain number of people. I'm not like a starstruck person. Like, I don't get starstruck, but there's a lot of people in this, in the automotive community that I definitely want to meet. But I don't want it to be like, I don't want the meeting to be weird. Like, hey, I'm a YouTuber too. You should check out my stuff, and I don't know. I don't know. I might go just because I want to go to a car show. That still failed. And it's parking the Pinda probe right over the top of that circle.
So it just says XY calibration failed?
XYZ calibration failed. Please consult the manual.
Okay, I'm just going to do a quick Google search.
That's what I was going to do. Oh, it says here I need a new one. Not really.
You haven't changed the Pinda probe, right? It's the same one?
Same one. Mitch said I need a ride from Chicago if anyone goes. I will keep you posted, Mitch. Maybe we'll just rent a little bigger of a car, because I was going to rent the most economical little crap box I could get. and jam Uncle Ron in there. If you guys haven't seen Uncle Ron, he is a very large guy. I mean, he's like 7.5 feet tall. Okay, maybe not that big, but he has a very large presence, and I think it'd be funny to like jam him into a clown car. Maybe it wants you to get an MK3. Front calibration points not. What? Now this printer, I will put this out there too. This printer does have like a weirdness to it that it was slamming the bed. Like it was trying to run the bed further than it can actually go. It's not that it wasn't reading the switch. It would slam it forward and then it would slam it backwards. And I don't know if that was related to the problem with the glob, or if it was related to a firmware update that I did right around the same time.
Is it so? Yours has physical switches for the end stops?
Yeah, there's a switch on the yeah.
Is it possible? Like I'm talking out my butt. I'm just thinking, is it possible you loaded the wrong firmware onto the machine? Because the new ones use sensorless end stops, right? It uses the trigger from the Trinamic drivers.
I won't say it's not possible, but I'm fairly certain it's the right one. I mean, I can load it again, but
After you loaded the firmware, did you reset the settings?
Well, that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you like recalibrating is one thing, but I think there's a way to reset to factory default, isn't there?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure what I did was a factory reset on it to get it where it is, but I will go in here and look.
I don't have the printer in front of me either, so again, could be talking to my butt, see if anybody comments on anything.
Well, there's nothing in settings for that. All right, it's running. Jot this down. It's running firmware 3.101. In fact, I've updated the firmware since all that started happening. Now that I think about it, because I released another one. But I can do it again. I'm all right with that.
We got to fill view time anyways, right?
Yeah, I'd really like this thing working again, though.
I would like it working again for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody know? Can you do a reset, like a factory reset on this? Is there a hold the?
Well, if you go into settings and scroll all the way down to the bottom, is there
under settings? No, I didn't see anything in settings for that.
Okay.
But I mean, I had to have done something to cause it to now want to, because it's like the first time you ever turn it on.
Oh,
like
right.
It pops up with the wizard and stuff.
I'm just gonna point the camera at the wall for a minute because I gotta do some moving around and I don't want to make people motion sick. I'm still here though, and let's face it, the wall's more attractive than I am.
Brian said you could call Prusa. Yeah, but he's busy. Joseph's a good guy, and you know, I mean, I could dial him up, but what's that?
He just hates it when you call him on his day off.
Yeah, well, he's probably sleeping right now.
Sounds like a personal
around the world.
I need more zip ties is what I need.
Just you know, I don't really have Joseph's phone number, by the way. I mean, I have a lot of people.
You don't have to lie to the people. Of course you do. You guys are best friends.
I don't have Joseph's phone number. And even if I did, I wouldn't call him for this. He's got people for this. I could call Shane.
I mean, if you want to burn whatever goodwill you've got left with him.
All right, well, let me go and see. Let's go take a look at the firmwares. Where's your firmware?
Rocking the firmware. Rocking the firmware.
This is not a 3S. It's not a Mini. It does not have the MMU. I do have an MMU that I've never used, and I'm thinking about selling it.
I might be interested.
Yeah?
We'll talk.
So this should be the 2.5S.
I just about, I was like, oh, I don't think I'm whatever this is, I don't think I'm using it. I just but unplugged the network switch that's allowing us to actually have the stream right now.
Old Curmudgeon said $93 for only 20 gallons. Yeah, I filled up the Nissan Maxima Friday night. It was $61 to fill that car up.
I put $40 in the forestry yesterday, and it got me like between a quarter and a third of a tank.
Just crazy.
Now, granted, that's Canadian, so I know blah, 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 blah.
Right. No, it's still crazy.
How am I going to do this for now? I'm looking for like the lazy approach because I don't have any way to attach this where I want it to. So I just want to get it close to where I want it to be so that when I get the cable ties, I can come back and, you know, give it the old college try. I think that'll be okay.
I'm gonna go in and verify that this is in fact the 2.5S because I've done. It was a Mark II S when I bought it. Then I upgraded it to the 2.5, and then I upgraded it to the 2.5S. I'm fairly certain, but I'll find out here with my purchase history.
I'm going to swap my camera cable, so I'm probably going to disconnect for a minute.
Well, that's fine.
Here we go. Mamma mia.
We can still see the brick wall. It just muted his audio. Palette 2 is great once you figure its quirks. Well, I have that palette that I got from you, Mitch, but I have the MMU, but I don't really want to convert this thing to multi-material. I want to put the palette on the FK1. Original Prusa i3 MK 2.5 to MK 2.5S upgrade kit. So absolutely, it is the Mark 2.5S. So download. Let me get out my longer USB cable and hook back up to my Raspberry Pi. If I can remember where I put that longer USB cable. Every time I go looking for it, I can't find it. Then I find it when I'm not looking for it. And I'm like, oh, that's where it is. I'll remember that for next time. Then I don't. Except for this time, I did remember where it is because here it is. Oh, no, this is the extension. But that's fine. That'll work. It'll be great. It'll be great. Why do we do this 3D printing stuff? It's such a nightmare. And all we do is print out a bunch of crap that sits around on our shelves. So I haven't decided if the shelves are going on the wall behind me in the new studio. I'm thinking that the FK1, because the height that thing is going to be like this high. So I may not even get to be able to have my banner on the wall behind me.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Do I sound okay?
Yeah, a little distant, but
Do I sound closer now?
I don't know. Keep talking.
I don't really know what to say right now. Do I sound different than I did before?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, I'll switch it to the other one and you can tell me if it's better or worse.
Well, no, this is better than you sounded when you first came down.
Okay, then this should be all the same.
Yeah, because the other one was like,
Now I don't have video, though, because I'm waving my hand in front of the camera.
we're looking at a wall.
Are you, though?
Is it just a static image?
When the camera disconnected, it just froze with whatever was on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Hey, there you are. All right, so I'm hooked into my Raspberry Pi. Oh, and I'll tell you what, moving the Pi hole over to an actual Raspberry Pi was fantastic. It made such a difference on the network. No more hangups. Plus, now I have my own backup DNS. I have a primary and a secondary DNS. I feel super official.
I apologize for the echoing. It's because I was remote controlling with my phone, which automatically relays the audio through my phone, which is right next to the microphone. So Glenn's talking was just being broadcast directly back into the camera.
Hey, this is so good, people need to hear it twice.
Okay, so in terms of setup, my streaming computer, I now have a monitor that's up here that I can see just by turning my head. Eventually, I have an arm that I'm going to attach to this table, so I can have a monitor that I swing here, so I can be working on something and read chat, but then I can swing it out of the way when I'm filming, so it's not in the way.
Oh, that's a good plan.
And then I've got a 7-port USB hub that's now connected over here, so I can connect a keyboard, a mouse, a headset, cameras, and stuff to it, and not have to try and get them all back to it. You know, obviously there's going to be a little bit of limited bandwidth, but it's a 5-amp powered USB hub, so it's got plenty of juice to power multiple devices.
Scott said the factory reset, press and release the reset button. Where's the reset button? Oh, on the board. That's right. There is a physical button on there, isn't there?
That's what they say.
And I think it's right through this hole. I hope so, because I'm sticking a metal object in there. That's probably a bad idea, huh? I have a degree in electronics, by the way.
Well, there are degrees to that.
I mean, the school is all defunct now, so it doesn't really count, but I don't have a plastic item. I'm jamming a metal item in there.
Well, couldn't you just flip the door open on the board and press it directly?
I just pushed it.
Did anything happen?
Scott said reset is X on the front panel. That's the emergency stop button. No, absolutely nothing happened. I'm going to unplug my Pi first. Now it's reset. But it's right back where it was. I'm your original Prusa, and I'm not working. I don't know. I am going to go ahead and flash the BIOS one more time on this. I've already downloaded it. I might as well use it. Now, this is where this is where I've had trouble before, but if you flash the wrong one, I flashed in the Rambo 1.0 instead of the 1.3, but as soon as you fire it up, it just squeals. Beep, and then nothing. So it is this one. Put that on the desktop. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. That's fine.
You can see what I'm doing. Na, 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 na.
One is reset. Two is press and hold the jog wheel. If I press and hold the jog wheel, it lets me adjust the Z.
Oh, okay. But so what it's saying is what he's saying is press the reset button and two, press and hold the jog wheel in. And I think he's saying that does the factory.
Oh, like both of them?
Well, he's saying 2 steps. I don't know if you're supposed to do one then the other, or.
Yeah, because when you hit the stop button, it generally just restarts the printer, and then
Unless it's you hold it while it's starting up.
Your Raspberry Pi gets really pissed off. Oh, that's another task that I got to take on, and maybe I'll do that next week's stream. I need to start updating all my Pis because they're still running the old Python.
Okay, so it says press and release the reset button marked X and positioned under the control knob on the LCD panel. Then immediately press and hold the control knob until factory reset is displayed on the LCD after 2 to 3 seconds. Release the control knob and a new menu should appear.
There we go, factory reset. Language. English.
Thanks, Hack Monkey. You're a monkey that gave us the hack, so
it's always appreciated, Scott. It didn't stay on that menu long enough for me to see. I'm going to do it again.
Uncle Ron says that the website says if it says consult manual, it means it isn't seeing any of the calibration points. That seems weird to me. Why would it keep going if it doesn't find the first one? Unless it's supposed to be seeing whether, like, giving you an idea of whether or not it's a problem with the bed or the probe.
Well, but again, the probe is responding.
But it could, so the probe could be getting power, but the data cable, like the data pin, may be broken on it. So the light goes on and off when it gets triggered, but it may not be telling the be able to tell the printer that it's been triggered.
Okay, that makes.
I guess what you could do is you could connect to it using your Pi. Well, obviously you are. Go in and check the endpoint status, and then trigger the Pinda probe and see if it changes. Which we probably could have done before we did the factory reset, but you know, we'll get there eventually. I feel like this is the most technical.
It's not going to let me connect
until you finish the setup.
Yep.
I wasn't completing calibration, so we figured do a factory reset and go through the beginning because he had done a couple firmware updates before things started going caca.
Well, I don't know that. I'm thinking maybe that might have been part of it. So, well, I'm going to, now that we've done the factory reset on it, I'm going to go ahead and
go through the setup process again.
I'm going to run through it again. Yeah.
We'll
we still got a half hour to kill. And it's got to be doing something because it knows to stop before driving the nozzle into the desktop.
But does it know that because it goes all the way up first and knows where the high point is?
I don't know. I mean, it would know roughly where it is.
Okay,
but...
well, here, when it starts to come down, put something underneath the probe and see if it stops moving. Like put your side cutters or whatever.
Yeah, is it inductive? Oh, it's responding.
But like, was it moving and then stop moving, or you're just saying the light's going on and off?
Oh, I see what you're saying. You want me to actually tell it to come down and then see if I can fake it.
Yeah.
Oh, I turned it too many times again. Okay. By the way, if you do that, if you turn it too many times, you can push the knob and tell it
Quit it.
to stop doing that.
The probe does have a light. It is going on and off, but the light is triggered by the probe and not by software. So it's possible the data pin isn't communicating with the board, and the light would still be going on and off.
All right, I'm gonna let it come down just a little bit. Yep, that works.
Okay, so the probe's still good.
Calibration failed. Imagine that.
Can't imagine why that would happen right now.
Yeah, why did that fail? Well, now I don't have to run it up as far.
There you go. It's a win. It's a win-win. Qui-Gon win.
Yeah, so all of the stops seem to be fine.
Yep.
Okay, so like just now it hit the X stop and the bed hit the Y stop. But what was happening, and we'll watch when it goes to do this, when the bed would then come forward, it was like it was trying to go too far forward and it would slam into the front. So then it didn't know where it was anymore and it would end up slamming into the back. So let's see what happens here.
There isn't anything in that's interfering with its movement forward, right?
Not other than the resistance of the motor itself.
Okay.
All right, those are absolutely all the way up. It's the steel sheet on the bed. No, place a sheet of paper under there. Yep, here's my paper. Not like it knows it's there or anything, but
Just to be safe. I like this ship. It's exciting.
inspect where the pin to sensor ends up. It must be within the first calibration point. That's the circle on the bed, right? Oh, I didn't read the line above that. Go to LCD menu, calibration, auto home. I don't know. Right now, it's not letting me do much of anything. It just wants to
do the process.
It just wants to. It wants to run the wizard.
Well, let's let it go through and see what happens, because like we did do the factory reset, so just in case.
Yeah, and it should be noted too that I still have my Ethan Makes whirly thing on there.
So I don't know if you knew this about me, but I'm a bit of a Star Trek fan. And they announced that they're doing a new Star Trek movie. It's going to be filming, or it's going to be filmed by the end of the year. And they're bringing the cast back from the last three movies. So like Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto. Wow. Guy that plays Bones, I'm drawing a blank on it. Carl Urban. Anyways, and Zoe, I get her last name wrong all the time. Zoe Saldana. Anyways, everybody was really surprised by this, including the cast that was mentioned, as none of them are currently contracted to do a Star Trek movie.
Wow.
So they announced it, and that's how the cast found out that they're like, yeah, by the end of the year, we're going to film this. And then so he's like, you know, Paramount, you just said you were going to do that, and you have no contracts. So you guys kind of have to do it now, which means they can kind of say, okay, we want this much money for it.
Right. Yeah, they can demand anything they want.
Yeah. At least for I think the three main, like Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, since they're like, you know, the one that the movie's generally centered around. I think they have to bring them back. So. I was complaining that I've been having trouble getting pies, and then I realized all the projects I've built that have pies in them that I'm not doing anything with right now.
Say that again.
I've been complaining that I haven't been able to get access to pies because the prices on them are ridiculous right now.
Right.
And then I look around and I see all the projects that I currently have built that have pies that aren't being used right now. Like, remember that miniaturized RGB computer I built with a Pi 4 in it?
Yeah.
It's sitting unplugged on my desk right now.
Yeah. It's good use for a Pi 4. Just sitting around doing nothing.
Yep. Be funny if somebody builds a virus that specifically attacks Pi-hole called Shut Your Pi-hole.
Don't give anybody an idea. Pi-hole is the most amazing thing anybody's ever come up with.
That's the one that blocks ads, right?
Oh, yes, it does. And it does a really great job of it, too.
It's so, because I had a discussion with somebody and they're like, well, technically that's theft. You're accessing sites and you're engaging in a way that you don't have to pay for them. In this case, it's paid via your bandwidth and your viewing of ads. So it's kind of theft. I'm like, well, I think the boat on theft sailed with piracy back in the 90s on the internet.
Well, I think it's theft that they jam so many ads into everything and I have to watch them. It's taking my time away from doing what I want to do. But you know what's really funny is like when the wife and I are watching regular broadcast TV and a commercial comes on for something I don't like, my brain immediately is like, I need to block that ad. And then I realize I can't.
Well, you can block it by changing channels and switching back.
Yeah, but the same stupid ads on the other channel too.
My dad used to do that all the time. Ad come on, so he'd change channels, but then he'd forget to go back. So we'd miss 15 minutes of whatever show or movie we were watching.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it absolutely knows where that point is on the bed. Because like it scans over and it comes back and it boop, 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 over that little circle. So
does it do it on the back one?
I don't know. We'll find out when we get there. I've moved the paper so I could see it this time. The paper is just there to cover the lies. Uncle Ron said, pinned misalignment instructions are here. Well, I would think that you could mount that Pinda. I could have that Pinda mounted, 4 feet in front of the printer as long as it could reach the spot on the bed. It would just be wrong as far as where the nozzle is. But it knows where that circle is.
Was it doing the hopping up and down before too?
Before when?
Like before we reset the
yes
factory. Basically, I'm asking, is it doing anything different this time so
Nope,
far?
looks exactly the same.
Duff is in chat. He says, hello, everyone.
Who? What?
Duff is in chat.
Oh, Duff's here. Duff man.
Duff man, can't breathe. Oh, no.
But now it's scanning the bed, and it's like a good centimeter away from that circle. Yeah, see, I think it just moved the bed too far forward, but I could be wrong. Wasn't paying attention. And the Pinda is just like, it's just, okay, now it's flashing. Maybe it's time to put a duet board in this thing.
Just duet. Oh, wait, I think Nike stole that.
What's that?
I said just duet. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, I think Nike stole that slogan.
Scott asked if my Pinda height is set right. Yeah, I just adjusted it again. I had set it, because of it being threaded, it kind of goes between either a little bit more than a zip tie or a little bit less than a zip tie. But
oh, I'm chilly today.
Tough man can never die. Only the actors that play him.
Oh no.
All right, so if sensor is good, I did have one fail and the light worked, but wouldn't trigger. All right, so we know that it triggered. Uncle Ron said go to LCD menu, calibration, auto home, inspect where the pin to sensor ends up. It must be within the first calibration point. After checking the first calibration point, move with the extruder with your hand to the other end of the heat bed and inspect the second calibration point. If I move the extruder with my hand, can't I technically put it anywhere I want?
Yeah, it's going up and down there too.
Yeah, it's just kind of chunk, 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 chunk.
It's got to be just about done with that.
Wicka.
This is riveting. How many viewers do we have today, Glenn?
Currently watching 15. 15. I don't know. You know, the viewership has been dropping off, and this group that's in here now is like our diehards, which much appreciated you guys for being here. But I think we need to know, like, why don't people like watching us anymore?
It's because of me and my annoying voice.
I thought maybe it was because like we never do anything 3D printing anymore.
I mean, what are you doing right now, though?
Getting ready to pull what's remaining of my hair out.
Well, that won't take long.
No, it'll be a short activity.
Here we go. Let's see what it does. Light's going on and off.
What's that?
The light is going on and off.
Right now it's on steady like it was over here. Now there was a couple of flashes. Now it's at the low end of the circle and it's working its way through the circle. But the light is steady right now.
Did you have to take the
Now
bed
it's
off for anything?
flashing. What's that?
Did you have to take the bed off for anything?
Nope. No, I didn't take anything off. I just...
Oh, is it going up and down now?
Huh?
Is it going up and down now?
Yeah, little. It's right over the top of the mark right now, and it's... Yeah, it knows it's there. It knows it's there. Now it's scanning beyond it. Let me pull up that link that Uncle Ron posted before it disappears off my screen.
James is to Glenn like Bob is to Jordan.
What?
Duff says, I just realized something. James is to Glenn like Bob is to Jordan.
Like Bob is to Jordan. I'm missing something.
Did it fail again?
Yes. But yet that the pin to probe where it's sitting right now is dead over that circle.
Okay, has the print since you started trying to fix it, the printer's been staying in the exact same spot?
What's that?
Where the printer is right now, that's where it's been staying this entire time when you've been trying to fix it, right?
Oh, like physically?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't moved it in like 3 weeks.
Is it possible there's something under one side of the frame or something that's causing it to skew a bit? It's not sitting
I don't think so. So, okay, to be fair, I put it on mouse pads today.
Okay, so it's been lifted and put back down.
Yeah, which is what I do. That's how I usually have it over here, sitting on mouse pads, because then it doesn't resonate down through the table. So I don't think that it's skewed.
Oh, he said Mad Monkey and Bob Carnes. Is it Carnes? It's Carnes, right?
Carnes, yeah.
I keep wanting to say Carnes, and I'm like, that's not right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
We're a dynamic duo.
Ryan says, I want to be mean. Oh, no, that's not what he said. Don't mean to be a broken record, but I'm still thinking that it can't relay the data to the printer. So that's why it keeps looking for it. But we know the pin to probe itself is responding because I can stick something metal underneath there and it stops.
Yeah, when you told it to home last time, he stuck a set of snips underneath the probe and it triggered it and then failed the calibration. So it definitely got data from the probe.
So let me, so I have to really, because that was a huge blob. For those of you who missed it, I think I still have it sitting somewhere nearby. This, this was the blob that was stuck on the hot end. So after going through the process of getting that off, I'm wondering if in the process of it putting that blob on, if that's what skewed something, but let me look and see, because Ron said, let's see, now I got to scroll back. So go to the LCD menu. Okay, calibration, auto home. Inspect where pin to sensor ends up. It must be within the first calibration point. Well, I won't say it's dead over it, but it's in the circle. It's in the northwest corner of the circle. And the pin to probe light is on. If you're checking the first calibration point, move with the extruder. Move the extruder with your hand. Is it going to let me do that? No. That thing is locked.
It's not a particularly helpful error message at the moment.
What's that?
The error message isn't particularly helpful.
No. Now, it should be noted that my belt, my Y belt, is very, very tight. Like very tight. But that hasn't changed, so that shouldn't really be the issue.
Also, did it ram itself into the front again that time, or not this time?
No, not this time. But the bed doesn't seem to be. I don't know. Can I move that? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna move that. No, it hit the switch like it's supposed to. But again, I think what happens is it it hits the switch fine, but then when it comes forward, like if it's supposed to move forward 220, it's moving forward like 225 and like cranking into it. So it's the brand new board. If it's hopping continuously, one would think it can't get data like James says. Oh, I'm reading back old stuff. I didn't realize that. I was still back. What's that?
You didn't scroll yet.
Yeah, because I was back reading Uncle Ron stuff. So the setup process should report skew. At least it's not a robo. No, I still have one of those. I tried to give it away. Kid never came to get it. Does the 2.5 have TMC steppers? No, this is the original Rambo 1.3. I don't think they're the TMC stepper. In fact, no. I think those only came with the 3 and above. The upgrades on this was never a board upgrade. It was just really just a different hot end and a different pin to probe. But that was all done a long time ago. So side shift, front shift, twist shift. So I'm going to shut this off for a minute. And I'm going to pull this bed forward slowly. It reaches the front, like fine. It's not hitting one side or the other. There are no debris or chunks of filament stuck under there. I don't see anything cracked or broken.
Just your heart.
That's right. Switch is still very solid mounted. Oh, I don't think that have anything to do with it, but it looks like there is some filament on the Y, on the cog. You know, that thing that goes on the stepper.
The idler.
The pulley.
The pulley. Sorry.
Yeah, there's some filament wrapped around there. I don't know if that would have anything to do with it. Oh, let me get some tweezies.
I mean, so if it's on it and it's causing the belt to skip over and it's changing, you know what I mean? Like it's adding a few, like even a millimeter of travel or whatever, so that it was
right, like the Y isn't. Well, yeah, like if that filament was getting stuck between the belt and the pulley, then the bed would not be where it's supposed to be.
That's right.
But when you see how little bit of that's in there, I don't know if we're all going to buy into that. It would be so funny if it really is something this stupid. So who had filament stuck in the pulley in the bedding pool?
I think that was me.
Oh, I hope I don't have to take this apart to get that out of there. I'm gonna have to get my headlight so I can see.
So I've got this arm that's got a multi-pivot point for a monitor. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to attach it to my desk because the clamp that's built into it won't fit over the 2x8 that acts as the front ledge of my desk.
It doesn't have a bolt that you can drill through the desk and.
So I can do that. I can take off because, like, if you look here in the clamp, I can actually remove the 2 clamp pieces and just have a part that could bolt to the desk. I just don't know if I want to drill holes into it.
Yeah, that's the ones I buy for work are that way.
I'm probably just going to.
I don't know. There's actually quite a bit of filament in here, boys and girls.
So I'm going to give it a chance, 33.3, repeating, of course. Chances of success.
33.675 repeating decimal.
Actually, I'm going to give it an 867.3509.
Oh, wow. I think that's a half a roll of filament right there. I'll share. I know you guys can't see that. I will absolutely share that with you in a second.
Wait till they find out that we planted that there on purpose just to have a full 2 hours of 3D printing related talk today. Oh, we weren't going to tell them that, were we?
No, that was supposed to be a secret.
Oh, I hear the secrets that you keep.
Huh. I think the batteries in my headlight are going dead. Has anybody got a good, good cheap source for the 18650 rechargeable batteries? I want to make sure that I get all of it out of there. I might have to go get my super spectacles.
Your super what?
Spectacles.
Oh, okay. I heard something different. Yeah, here you go, James. You can just use this. You can just use this bolt and bolt your monitor stand on. That's exactly what that is. You mean like this?
Yeah, like that one.
I don't suppose this is expandable enough to get enough out of it, is it? Probably
no, it's just
not
like riveting YouTube. You guys can't see. Really, it's just most important for me to see at this point. I definitely need to do some maintenance to this thing.
How close are you to being able to run it again?
Oh, 5 minutes.
We are 6:30, but I can push it a few more minutes. I just want to see if we fixed it.
It's just like a couple of scraggly pieces left in there that I can't. Maybe if I flip it over and go at it from the bottom.
Oh man, family friendly channel.
What's that?
I said, oh man, family friendly channel. Sometimes I don't even know if you realize what you said.
These are the greatest, like, super goggles ever, and I thank Uncle Ron for these. I may not be able to recover all of this to show it off. I'm more worried about just getting it out of there at this point.
I just remember that the monitor part of this is detachable, so I've been struggling with it, and then I realized I don't have to do that. So I think if I'm going to screw this into the desk, I'm going to just do it right over here in the corner as far as I can. I was gonna go find some wood screws, and then also put a dent in my desk because I didn't realize the tension wasn't very good on that, and it just dropped. I went to gently put it down, and it was like, actually, the weight of this is enough to make me bend. So I'm just gonna mess your stuff up. I feel like all I have is long screws.
Still pulling pieces out of there.
What was that?
I said, I'm still pulling pieces out of there. It's like you need to build a belt guard or something so that never happens again.
You know what, though? The more you pull out, the more likely it is that that's what the problem was.
All right. Well, I think that I got enough out of there because it was a little like when you would roll the bed manually, it was a little chuggy.
Yeah.
And now it's not chuggy. I just thought that the belt tension was too tight. So I guess if there was filament all stuck in there, the belt tension would have been too tight. Yeah, the belt's not nearly as musical now.
Well, that's good.
How come nobody brought that up? Gosh.
These the wood screws I went and grabbed, the heads are big enough that they go all the way through those holes. And I don't have any washers, I don't think.
Here we go. Uncle Ron wants to know how durable are screws made of wood. Sergio said, wait, don't hang up till we see results. No, if James has to go, he can go. I'll make sure that I stay long enough to
see how it goes.
To see how it goes.
I'm attempting to stick around for a few more minutes, just to see if we end the saga of Glenn the Unprintable.
Yeah. If it touches, shut it off immediately. And then I'll share with you guys this. I mean, it's not a huge pile, but it's a lot more than I thought was going to be in there.
I don't know why. Yeah, I think we're good. Oof.
See if you guys can see that. That's what was stuck in the bully.
That's probably enough to throw it off. Maybe it was slipping a little bit even.
Yeah, it's I mean, like this little ball right here is a pretty good sized chunk. And then yeah.
Is it probing now?
Yeah, it's scanning the first spot. Just wanted to share the pile of filament. There was one more little BB, but I actually pulled that off of a different part. So, you know, that Jesse PLA, some tough stuff. Apparently, you can increase the size of your pulley with it. Well, Mark, we're hanging in there, so I'm glad you didn't or that you made it back. Yeah, that pin to probe knows where that is, but that would make sense. Mainly if like that filament was really only stuck on part of the pulley. So then the bed is moving really weirdly. That would also explain why the last couple of prints that I did off of this were awful. They were probably the worst prints I've ever made off of the Prusa. Not the worst ones I've ever made, but the worst ones off of the Prusa. Maybe take the printer, flip it upside down, and shake it out. No, it was, I had to pick it out of there with the super fine tweezers. It was really, really just, in fact, parts of it are black in color. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hop on to Printed Solid and see if I can get some belts, maybe some bearings.
Unless, of course, this just works and everything goes back to normal, in which case, why put any money into it?
What's that?
I said, unless, of course, this all goes proper this time and everything just works, in which case, why put any money into it?
Well, because it's really noisy. Like the bearings are really chattery. And it could just need a greasing, but you know, that X-axis is so hard to take apart.
And if you're going to do it, you might as well make it worth your while.
Yeah, I might as well put some fresh bearings in there and some fresh belt. These are the tweezers that I use for catching flies in the air. Like chopsticks.
It never works, but when you do, that'll be what you used.
These are actually, these are tweezers I use for weeding vinyl. But they work so well for so many things, and they are like so ridiculously sharp. I've stabbed myself with them multiple times. Not intentionally, not on purpose. So I want I'm gonna leave that so you guys can see it, and I'll just be up here in this little corner. But I'm gonna tell a story because my mom called me again the other day, and she called me to tell me she liked my video again because she still can't get into her YouTube account. But then she said to me, she goes, "But what I don't understand is you don't ever finish these trucks that you're working on." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, like your black truck, you took the body off of it and you didn't put it back on." So I said, "Well, you know, in the world of YouTube, you have to have constant content, and that's like 9 months worth of work. If I released it in one video, I'd only have one video every year." Now I realize that's kind of how it was in the beginning, but let's get past that. But then, you know, she was talking about like not being able to log into her account, and I said, "Well, you know, it's this, you got to use your Gmail address, and you know, it's probably this password or whatever." And she said, "All right, well, I'll try to do that." And I said, "Yeah." And then once you log in, then you can click the like button or the dislike button if that's what you want to do. And she's like, "No, I wanted to ring the bell." That's straight feedback when they just call you to tell you they liked it.
How are we doing?
Third point. I mean, we don't generally know what happens till we get to the fourth point.
I don't have washers, but I have a plate from an old printer that has the same screw spacing, just coincidentally. So I might actually just temporarily use this plate as a
backing plate.
As a backing plate.
Perfect. That's called recycling. It's gotten to the point where, like, okay, so those of you who know me personally know I don't really throw anything away, but like I've gotten to the point where I don't get rid of any metal. Like if it's real bad or if it's just junk, then yeah, it goes to the recycler. But like scraps of metal, I just make crap out of it all the time. coming up in a future episode on Fun King Garage. The current project that I'm working on, the one that I just actually finished today, I had to make a couple of tools. So my neighbor makes fun of me because I have like all the tools. And then when it comes down to something I don't have, he's like, "What? You don't have that tool?" And then like a lot of times I'm like, "Yeah, but it's on order."
Your answer is just soon.
Yeah, well, one day I was doing something. I was working on something, which you'll see in the video in the future. But after about like the fourth DeWalt tool that I pulled out, he's like, "Is there anything DeWalt you don't own?" And I said, "Funny you should say that. I actually have a wish list on Amazon of all the DeWalt tools I don't own that I want." Like my DeWalt tools.
Like DeWalt tools, State Farm is there.
So I had to replace the batteries in my server battery backup and my main computer battery backup. They're smart. They're APC Smart 1500s. So it takes two of the 12 nines, 12 volt 9 amp hour, and they come glued together with these stickers. But they're like $70 for one battery pack. And I found a company called Mighty Max Batteries. You can get them through Amazon, or you can buy them on eBay, a lot of places, or directly from Mighty Max themselves. Same battery. I just pulled that assembly apart, taped in the new ones, put them in. They come with a 1-year warranty. Then if you register it, you get an additional 3 months. And if you like them on Facebook, you get another 3 months. So I got a 1.5 year warranty on these batteries. And I got 4 batteries for $20 more than it would have cost for one battery pack. So 4 batteries for $20 more than 2 batteries.
That seems pretty good.
So, you know, shameless plug right there for Mighty Max Batteries. So, and I have a project coming up in the garage that we're kind of thinking we might be able to do a collaboration on. So
you're gonna stop, collaborate, and listen?
What's that? Yeah.
You're gonna stop, collaborate, and listen?
Somebody's gonna listen. Duff said, "I like my Milwaukee tools. Kind of stuck with them since they have licensing for the specialty stuff." Yeah, Milwaukee has a lot of stuff. Like they seem to be super innovative. Like they're always the first one to market with stuff. They have a couple of things that DeWalt doesn't offer that I hope DeWalt offers eventually. I've been a DeWalt fan for a long time, even before Fun King 3D. It has nothing to do with the black and yellow. It's just the way that it worked out. And because that's the battery platform that I started with, it's the battery platform that I stay with. So
I did it.
Scott said APC is super overpriced on their sealed lead acid batteries. Well, and the way that they encourage you to buy them is like, oh, it's got a warranty, but you know what? So do these. So look at you being all productive and stuff.
So now when I'm filming and I need the desk, I just push this over here sort of out of the way. And then when we're streaming, I'll be able to swing it back into the space and be able to monitor chat while I'm working on something instead of constantly having to turn my head over here. So
nice.
That's the theory. I need to do some adjustments to where the bar is, though. Oh, I forgot that the tripod on this camera is broken. I picked it up by the camera and it didn't go well.
Oh. Mark said, DeWalt for life, all I own. Yeah, every year, you know, when the whole Black Friday sales and stuff happen, they always have that deal where you buy two 5 amp hour batteries and you get a free tool or whatever. I do a couple of those. It's going to fail.
Is it?
Oh, maybe not. because it never did that before.
It succeeded.
Yeah, it went back and parked itself over that fourth dot again, but it never did this before. So, but yeah, I always do that a couple of times each season, and I get 2 brand new 5 amp hour batteries, and then I get 2 new tools I didn't have. So, please place steel sheet on heat bed. Well, it's getting the PEI one because I don't use a smooth sheet. I mean, it's still steel. Steel is steel, right? So I'm going to say that was successful.
There are several people that just lost a bet, most likely.
What's that?
I said there are several people in here that just lost a bet, most likely. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna have to call it. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We can wrap up. I think everybody is everybody content with this, the outcome of this. I mean, I think that was it. Like, it had this glump of filament wrapped around the y-axis pulley, which was making the bed. What would you call that? Surge? Lunge?
It was making it inconsistent. Actually, that does explain why it was ramming itself into the thing then, right? The pulley was slightly wider than it's supposed to be.
Yeah, like at certain times the pulley was like actually larger. So therefore, the same number of RPMs would push the bed further.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. So XYZ calibration, all right. XY axis are slightly skewed, which is actually how it's been for a long time. Good job.
Good job, you, Glenn.
It hasn't been perfect since before I did the 2.5S update. When I did that upgrade, or maybe it was I don't know. It was when I went to the removable bed, the steel sheet bed. Then it was never perfect anymore. It was always all right, but it prints fantastically. So.
Alrighty, guys. Well, unless you're gonna keep calibrating for a bit and you just want me to drop out.
No. I'm good. I can wrap up. I think that test print full send. I will print something on this evening and have it available to show you guys next Sunday. And hopefully I'll be able to make Zach his helmet that he wants so badly. But you got anything that you want to plug?
Nope. I've got videos I'm working on, but I don't know if any will be out this week. So
okay.
We'll see.
I'm going to be filming a maker box. I'm going to try to get that done this week. I don't know when that's going to release, but and then God willing and the creeks don't rise, we will have a video coming out on Fun King Garage on Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the plan anyway. That's what I've been promised anyway. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to give everybody's Sean's address so that they can send hate mail. And but yeah, so watch for that. I thank everybody for watching my stuff. Currently, the views have been very good. Mark, what helmet? He wants a Alexander the Great helmet for a thing that he's doing at school. Yeah. And then, of course, thanks to the 15 of you who hung in here through this stream, and those who popped in and out, and those who watch it later. Again, soon these streams are going to start to simulcast on 3D as well as Garage, and then the replays will be available on Fun King Replay, which I didn't put that link up, but I will have that link available for you guys by next week. Otherwise, I got nothing. Thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. You're the reason that we do this, because it'd be dumb if we did it for any other reason. We love each and every one of you. And until next time, as always, print on. I know